If I have a child and I have 50% physical custody of that child, do I have to pay child support? This is a question that is frequently asked. I can give you an answer, but it will take a little time to explain. Please don't be put off by the length of this response. It's easy to follow if you watch and listen all the way through to the end. The criteria used to determine who pays child support and how much child support one pays are not universal. Different jurisdictions have different criteria. So I will answer your question based upon the child support criteria provided in the Utah Code, because I practice family law in Utah. There is no one-to-one ratio between the number of overnights a parent has a child in his or her custody and the amount of money each parent is responsible to pay for the financial support of a child. In other words, just because parents may share equal physical custody of their children, 50-50, does not mean that one parent will not or cannot be ordered to pay child support to the other. What do I mean by that? Well, the way Utah calculates whether a parent shall pay child support to the other parent is based upon the following factors. 1, determine the combined household income of the two parents. In other words, how much income do both parents receive each month, including earned and non-earned income sources. And what are earned and unearned income sources? The Utah Code identifies many sources: salaries, wages, commissions, royalties, bonuses, rents, gifts from anyone, prizes, dividends, severance pay, pensions, interest, trust income, alimony from previous marriages, annuities, capital gains, Social Security benefits, workers' compensation benefits, unemployment compensation, and income replacement disability insurance benefits. See Utah Code 78B-12-203 sub 1. Now that code section also includes payments as income from non-means-tested government programs. What are those? The term means-tested payments describe those government programs and benefits that are available only to those whose incomes, in other words, their means, are at or below a certain amount. Examples of means-tested payments include aid to families with dependent children, or AFDC, temporary assistance to needy families, TANF, and supplemental security income, SSI. Those things are not the kind of thing that would impact the child support calculations. Consult the child support tables next. These are tables that show in the Utah Code what monthly amount of money the code sets forth for the financial support of children based upon the combined monthly income of the parents and the number of minor children. For example, if the combined income of the parents were between $4,901 and $5,000 per month, they would go to the line in the child support table found in the Utah Code for that monthly income amount to find out what their combined monthly financial support obligation to their minor children, depending upon how many minor children they have. The table looks like this. This means that for parents whose combined monthly income is between $4,901 and $5,000 per month, $668 is the total amount of support for one child, $1,175 is the total amount for two children, and $1,351 is the total amount of monthly financial support for three children. You see how the table works. But who pays what percentage of the total monthly financial support obligation for the children in cases of joint physical custody? Utah Code Section 78B-12-208 covers that. It provides, quote, in cases of joint physical custody, the base child support award shall be determined as follows. 1. Combine the adjusted gross incomes of the parents and determine the base combined child support obligation using the base combined child support obligation table, like we just saw previously. Calculate each parent's proportionate share of the base combined child support obligation by multiplying the base combined child support obligation by each parent's percentage of combined adjusted gross income. Don't worry, you don't have to follow this perfectly, but listen so you get the gist. The amounts so calculated are the base child support obligation due from each parent for support of the children. 3. Subject to subsection 30-3-35.22E2, if the obligor's time with the children exceeds 110 overnights, the obligation shall be calculated further as follows. A, if the amount of time to be spent with the children is between 110 and 131 overnights, multiply the number of overnights by over 110 by 0.0027, then multiply the result of the base combined child support obligation, and then subtract the result from the obligor's payment as determined by subsection 2 to arrive at the obligor's payment. Or B, if the amount of time to be spent with the children is 131 overnights or more, multiply the number of overnights over 130 by 0.0084, then multiply the result by the base combined child support obligation, and then subtract the result from the obligor's payment as determined in subsection 3A to arrive at the obligor's payment. It may sound complicated, but it's really not. But even better, the state of Utah provides an online calculator that calculates child support by simply entering into the calculator the income of each parent, the number of minor children they have, and the number of overnights each parent has the children in his or her physical custody. That will actually calculate child support for you without you having to go through all the calculations yourself. To illustrate, I'll show you first a child support calculation worksheet for a situation where one parent is awarded sole custody of the children. Don't worry, we'll get to joint. Let's assume A, that mom and dad's combined gross income is $5,000 and dad earns $3,400 per month and mom earns $2,600 per month. And B, that they have 3 minor children. See that? Now let me show you a child support calculation worksheet that shows you how child support is calculated if mom and dad have equal physical custody of their children. As you can see in this hypothetical scenario, even though dad's income is greater than mom's, because his income is higher than mom's, he still ends up paying some, albeit relatively little, child support to mom. Ah, but Eric, you might say, I noticed that your so-called equal child support custody worksheet shows mom with 183 overnights with the children annually and dad with 182 overnights with the children annually. 365 divided by 2 is not an equal sum. That results in dad paying $113 a month in child support if he has the children 182 overnights. But what if he has 183? Good question. The answer is that dad would still have to pay child support, but it would be a little less due to the fact that dad has the children just 1 extra overnight each year. Here's the calculation if dad had the children with him 183 overnights annually. So as you can see, if dad had the children 183 overnights annually, his child support obligation would be $85 per month. If dad had the children 182 nights annually, his child support obligation would be $113 per month. That's just 1 day's difference per year. One way to avoid the problem of child support being more or less due 1 day's difference per year is to calculate child support for the parents based upon each parent having the children in his or her custody 182 and 183 nights per year, then taking the average of those two sums, and then you would get the average being the child support for 182.5 overnights. So in dad's case, 113 plus 85 is 198 divided by 2 would be $99. You can access Utah's child support calculator at this website I'll provide in the description section of this video, as well as right here. I hope it's demystified and clarified for you how child support in joint custody situation is calculated and why. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or an idea for a future video, please email us at utahfamilylawtv@gmail.com.